Following the recent American announcement that tariffs will be applied on $200 billion of Chinese imports, we are now entering a fully-fledged trade war. More than half of U.S. imports from China look set to be hit, with rhetoric suggesting the rest could also be covered before long. Foregone conclusion. Standard logic has it that the U.S. will win. This word may be relative to tussle, given that it imports around 3 times as much from China as it exports there. China would therefore seem to have more interest in reaching a deal, and it has already run out of space to apply dollar-for-dollar tariff responses. There are, though, 4 major caveats. Firstly, although China is a lot more export-oriented than large Western economies, it is much less so than a decade ago. Exports are only half as important as they were then, as a percentage of GDP, and the tens of millions of middle-class Chinese people in the crucial domestic market are now pivotal. So the tariffs could have less effect than expected, particularly if the effect can be ameliorated through finding alternative export markets, or even a depreciation of the yuan. Secondly, tariffs can also hit U.S. producers given that Chinese suppliers are also part of their product chain. Apple, for one, has publicly announced that U.S. consumers can expect to pay more for some products. Thirdly, putting to one side the philosophical drawbacks, China could have a tactical economic advantage in not being a democracy. Whereas President Trump must consider voters in the midterms and subsequent presidential election, China can take a longer-term approach. We have already seen a public outcry leading to the U.S. taxpayer effectively indemnifying soybean producers. Having set this example, will the Trump administration follow suit for other affected groups? Fourthly, China has an overtly mercantilist policy and is open to using its foreign policy for commercial purposes. So, although it has little scope to increase tariffs on U.S. goods, it could have other possibilities, for example by ensuring an embargo on neighboring North Korea is less effective. No, far from certain. Overall, this suggests that an American victory in this trade war is far from certain. Rather than taking a unilateral approach, the U.S. may have better served approaching the matter together with its major allies in Canada, Europe and Japan, who mostly share their concerns, particularly over a Chinese reverse engineering of valuable intellectual property.